I lived too close to holiness, close enough to hear the whispers of evil. My name is Armand. I was the closest servant to Pope Leo XIV for 11 years. I was the one who woke him every dawn with a small bell, who prepared holy water, readied his vestments, and held the only key to the hidden room where he would retreat after long masses. But now, I live in hiding, in an abandoned monastery in the Piedmont region, over 400 kilometers from the Vatican. Because I know, if I had stayed, I would have vanished like the others, without a trace, without explanation, and with no one daring to ask. He was the Pope of the end times, but he was also the bearer of 10 things I believe did not belong to this world. And if you think these are merely rumors, then I beg you, listen to me. Listen until the end, because once you know the truth, you will never pray the same way again. 1 year, light would not enter that room, because it was not allowed. I was once assigned to clean the 7th room of the Apostolic Palace, a room that appears on no map. Its door was always sealed, only open once a week at 3 a.m., the hour of penitential prayer. I remember the first time I entered. The candle I carried instantly went out. No breeze, no motion. It simply refused to burn. The smell in that room was strange, like incense that had died. And on the wall were markings I cannot describe. They weren't Christian symbols, but they made me want to kneel and weep. I once asked the Pope, "Your Holiness, what is that room?" He answered in a dry, heavy voice, "It's a place no one should enter, not even God." 2. The mirror would not reflect him on Good Friday. During Holy Week, there is a ritual called reflection of the self, where the Pope must stand before a mirror, pray, and confess in silence. This ritual is secret. Only I, another servant, and a supervising priest are allowed in. That year, I placed the golden frame mirror, an artifact from the 15th century, into position. But when Pope Leo XIV stood before it, there was nothing. No shadow, no flicker. I swear on all I once believed. The mirror was completely empty. I stepped back in shock, nearly dropping my oil lamp. The elderly priest beside me trembled, whispering the Our Father. But Pope Leo simply smiled and said softly, "Not everyone needs to see themselves, to know who they are." Then he knelt, and for the first time, I saw 2 streams of tears run down his face. Yet still, no reflection appeared. After that day, the mirror vanished. I never saw it again. I was the one who had wiped away the tears of a man who did not reflect in our world. 3. The blood-stained letter from a burnt monastery still arrived. One winter night in 2023, as I changed his bed linens, the Pope suddenly told me, "We are about to receive a letter. Do not open it. Do not read it. Just burn it." I didn't understand. But the next morning, a young cardinal arrived, trembling, holding an envelope stained with dried blood. No seal, no address. Pope Leo took it calmly. No questions. He walked to the balcony, lit a flame from a sacred candle, and burned the letter. I stood beside him and watched the ash fall in a perfect circle. But that night, as I entered his chamber to clean, the letter was back, untouched, whole, and the scent of burning still hung in the air. I didn't dare touch it. The next morning I reported it. The Pope looked at me, neither angry nor surprised. He simply said, "Some letters are not sent to hands. They are sent to fates." I never knew what was written in that letter, but 3 days later, San Pietro in Montorio Monastery burned to the ground. 18 monks perished. Among them, one man had no church records. His name appeared only in the fire report, written in red ink, Iscariot. 4. The encounter with the one who never blinks. I don't want to tell this, but if I stay silent, I will never sleep in peace again. It was a Wednesday night in June. Vatican was deserted for a Eucharistic procession in the square. I was ordered to stand guard outside the Pope's chamber, a rare request for the night. At 1:10 a.m. there was a knock. I opened the door. A tall man stood there, cloaked in black, hooded. He said nothing, just handed me a stone etched with an open eye, without eyelids. Before I could react, Pope Leo opened the door himself and said, He has come to remind me what I'm forgetting. They spoke behind closed doors, but I heard it, scraping against stone. Laughter, dry and hollow, like wind lost in a graveyard. Then, silence. When the door reopened, the man was gone. The room felt like a crypt. On the floor, footprints, made of blood, circular, no toes. Pope Leo said, "Don't ask me what day it is, Armand. Ask why time hasn't ended, when it should have." The lullaby in the language of the dead. I often waited outside his room before dawn, only I was allowed to knock 3 times at 6 a.m. to wake him. But some nights I couldn't sleep, not from cold, but from the singing. A deep, faint male voice, humming a lullaby to something not human. At first I thought I was hallucinating, but soon other night guards complained. It sounds like someone long dead, trying to sing in their grave. One night I pressed my ear to the door. I caught a few words, not Latin, not Italian, not any human tongue I know. The next morning I asked, "Your Holiness, where does that song come from?" He didn't look at me. He just closed his eyes and whispered, "It's not meant to lull someone to sleep. It's meant to keep someone else from waking." From then on, no one asked. And strangely, every night when that song played, every clock in the Apostolic Palace stopped at 2:33 a.m. 6. The scar shaped like a key that never healed once. While helping him change vestments, I saw a scar at the base of his neck. Shaped like an old key, clearly defined as though burned in with iron. I dropped the robe in shock. He sat still, silent. When I picked it up, my hand brushed his back. It felt cold, like living metal. I asked, trembling, "Was that from an accident?" He smiled, a smile I wish I had never seen. "No, Armand, it's a door, and when the time comes, someone will come to open it." Later, I secretly asked a doctor who once examined him. He didn't say much, just one sentence that haunted me for months. I couldn't x-ray that spot. Every machine lost signal. 7. The midnight knocks on his door. Only I and a guard named Francesco knew of this, and 2 weeks after telling me, Francesco vanished. At exactly 3:11 a.m. each night, we'd hear 3 knocks, steady, on the Pope's door. We always checked. No one was there. No shadow, no footprints, not even marks on the wood. Francesco once joked, "Maybe a ghost wants a blessing." But one night I peeked through the door crack, and I saw no one knocking. The door itself was knocking. Each thud echoed inside my chest. Then I saw Pope Leo, sitting at his desk, staring at me. No anger, no smile, just watching. Then he spoke, a voice like echoing through some ancient cave. "It's not someone outside knocking, it's something inside, trying to get out." The next day, Francesco disappeared. No notes, no leave form, just a Bible left open, its final page torn out. 8. Why old priests avoided his gaze. I always wondered why elder priests, those who served multiple popes, feared his eyes. In meetings, they avoided his gaze. In photos, they bowed slightly. I overheard one whisper, "Those eyes don't belong to the living." I asked Father Michelangelo, a senior priest who had served 3 popes, "Why won't you look into his eyes?" He replied, "Armand, if you've ever seen someone burned alive, eyes open until they became ash, you'd understand." I didn't believe it. Until one Easter vigil, I stood behind Pope Leo. The candlelight reflected in his eyes, and I saw no pupils, just dark hollows, reflecting my own face, but distorted. From then on, I never looked again, because every time I did, I felt something else looking back. 9. The baptism of a wooden statue. No one understood. One night in September, Pope Leo requested a secret baptism. No congregation, no cardinals, no cameras, just him, me, and a young priest. I expected a child to be brought in. Instead, they carried in a wooden statue, about the size of a 1-year-old. But its face had no eyes, no mouth, just deep holes and a stitch-like gash across where a mouth might be. I asked, terrified, "Who is this, your holiness?" He replied, "No one, but it will be everyone." He cradled it like a living infant, dipped it into holy water, and when water touched it, it moaned, a soft, ragged gasp, like someone struggling to breathe. I staggered back. The young priest fainted. Pope Leo placed the statue down and said, "It now has a name and a soul. Don't let anyone wake it." The next day it was gone. No one spoke of it, but each midnight thereafter, a soft, choking cry echoed from the Pope's room. 10. The silver box, and why no one survives. Opening it, in the last drawer of his desk was a silver box. No one was allowed to touch it. 2 high-ranking cardinals once tried while he was away. Within hours, one died suddenly. The other lost his mind. I cleaned the scene. The box was still shut. But when I brushed it, I heard a sigh from inside. I once asked him, "Your Holiness, what's inside?" He replied, eyes fixed on the crucifix. The first memory of God before he knew his name. I dared not ask further. But on the night before Pentecost, he told me, "If one day I vanish, burn the box. If not, it will remember what it is." 3 days later, he vanished. No statement, no funeral. No one dared ask. I burned the box, myself. And when flames rose, the floor of the apostolic palace trembled, like something very far and very heavy was walking away. A testimony from an old servant. I lived close to him. Close enough to hear his heartbeat when he drifted asleep during endless hours of prayer. But some nights I awoke wondering, had I served a man or something else entirely? I speak not to defame nor to judge, but because I believe holiness comes at a cost, and sometimes that cost is the soul of the one who bears it. Pope Leo XIV was not like the others. He was not just the head of the church. He was the final result of a misread prayer, one uttered too many times by too many souls who forgot what they were asking for. I am Armon, the servant, the one who once touched the vestments of something no longer bound by time. And if one day you hear a strange lullaby at midnight, pray softly. Do not let him know. You're listening.